Hello, welcome to this tropical update. So let's see the main things that are happening. Uh, we have the area in the Caribbean almost forming into a storm or something might impact the Yucatan and other areas on the next few days. And we also have this very strong typhoon near the Philippines, expected to become a super typhoon by in a few hours by Thursday tomorrow and pass right through the northeastern Philippines as a super typhoon, and then go approach southern Taiwan as a very strong too strong typhoon. So please be careful. We'll check more in a minute. There's this other storm as well, tropical storm Mani, that might make an approach on the Philippines as a violent typhoon. So they do have on the end of the track here this approach in the Philippines by by next Friday or something as a violent typhoon by Saturday probably. So please be aware, multiple storms um, affecting the Philippines. One super typhoon and then this one next Saturday is a violent typhoon. So please warn others there. We have here the disturbance, the southern Indian Ocean as well, might form into something, and Typhoon Usagi and tropical storm Toyaji is practically dead already, but we have tropical storm Mani and Usagi there. So let's see. Here we have Typhoon Usagi. They are calling it a super typhoon. So let's see, the winds are all the way up to 130 knots, 915 millibars, the minimum pressure. You can see the eye already there. Some models take it near Taiwan and curve it near the South China Sea, but yeah, most models do that. The GFS ensembles take it right through the northern Philippines, very strong near Taiwan, but then dive down into the South China Sea. The Canadian model, a similar track. So let's see uh, just their official track here to see what they think. So the official track it still has Usagi passing through the northeastern Philippines, curving near Taiwan and near southern islands of Japan. But many models now are still showing it curving through the South China Sea. So let's see here. There's the GFS. It does show there like Usagi extremely strong there goes, and then it does have the low pressure lingering there and going into the South China Sea. Then it has Mani, the next storm, passing right through the same zone of the northern Philippines, very strong as well, then curving down near the South China Sea again. So multiple dangerous storms uh, affecting those areas on the next few days. So let's see, this is the European, there's Usagi there, and don't mind that strength because it's 915 millibars, and the European still showing 980, so just look at the track. And so it has Mani approaching the southern Philippines and Usagi approaching Taiwan. So Mani, the European, has as a strong or violent typhoon going right into the central northern Philippines, and it has Usagi continuing through the southern islands of Japan, like uh, Okinawa, Umami, and some areas by next Saturday, the 16th, has Mani crossing the central northern Philippines into the South China Sea. So this will be very problematic for parts of the Philippines and even Taiwan or Japan later. So here's the icon. It goes passes the northeastern Philippines and has Mani going right into the central northern Philippines right after that already by Saturday the 16th. Then it has Usagi passing Taiwan and kind of dissipating near the islands of Japan. Then it has Mani into the South China Sea and maybe dissipating near Vietnam in some areas. So this is the general idea. So please be safe in those areas and warn others. There's the Canadian model, takes Usagi there for the northern Philippines, and then might weaken near Taiwan, believe some heavy rain there. And it has Mani going very strong right through the central Philippines, central northern Philippines, then into the South China Sea, maybe near Hainan or some areas. So yeah, and the Canadian even has another system forming up after that, and some disturbances, just like some areas of heavy rain near Malaysia and Indonesia there, by like the end of this month. So yeah, please stay safe there. Where's the storm here? So this storm has a super typhoon there, like 240 kilometer per winds. This might cause some tremendous storm surge in those areas of the northern Philippines, and those gusts might be even over 240 kilometer per hour, like close to 250 in the core of the system. But if the system stays more offshore, then the worst will be offshore. But you see, the center might pass very close to Santa Ana or some areas there, so might be pretty intense around those areas. So here's like the wind gusts. They do have this forecast. It shows does this model in specific, the GFS has the core passing right over like the northern Philippines, has like 139 kilometer per gust in Santa Ana, although it shows the system here with maximum of 240 kilometer per winds, because the GFS has, the models in general have slightly weaker than it actually is, but you get the idea. Plus the storm surge, these wind gusts might cause a lot of damage to infrastructure and power lines, trees, so please be careful with damaging winds, coastal flooding along the coast, and storm surge, and like flooding, just landslides and flooding from the rainfall. So please stay safe there. That's the GFS, and this is the icon. So it has there, the icon's not very strong as I expected, but does show like 124 kilometer per gusts. But for example, let's see the European model. So the gusts does show the system there. So it does show some gusts right there for like Santa Ana or just east of Santa Ana, some areas close to 184, 187 kilometer per gusts. But the European has this much weaker than it actually is. So this is a possibility, just like around 180 km per gust. But if the system does get to 240 km per hour sustained winds, the gusts will be occasionally higher than that in the core of the system. So just please mind that and stay safe from those very strong winds and storm surge. Be careful along the coast with coastal flooding, and like the heavy rainfall and flooding this might cause. So uh, until Saturday the 16th, there will be much like 214 millimeters in some areas, 228 and 251 not there. So please be careful when it's raining harder with like flooding, flash flooding, and landslides, especially urban flooding and landslides. So please stay safe there. Flooding is not to be messed with. So stay safe. And if I put this until next Monday, the 18th, alright, shows the other storm coming through as well, with more than 247 millimeters. Other parts further south, and right those areas in the northeastern Philippines up to 310 millimeters in the next 5 days. So please stay safe there from these storms. The GFS is like some 200 to 25 millimeters, 232. So please be careful. And the icons is a little bit further out to see there, but it does have more than 100 millimeters in the northeasternmost tips there. But please stay safe. The Europeans has passed like right over Calawan with more than 249 millimeters. The GFS, similar thing, but a little bit less. The icons further east, near Basco in southern Taiwan. The icon is more than 200 millimeters, southern Taiwan. And it's showing like Ishigaki in southern Japan, more than 339 millimeters. So the icon's very crazy there, but the European just has 31 millimeters. The European's more than 200 millimeters in Taiwan there, 141 millimeters. So please stay safe. And as you can see, has the other storm approaching there and cruising the central northern Philippines until next Monday, the 18th. More than 257 millimeters, 261. So please stay safe there. And yeah, now the waves with this system now are very strong. I think not strong but big, and I think the waves are actually bigger than this. Because if this is a super typhoon, I think this is much more than just 8 meter waves. So be careful there. The GFS has a similar thing, and let's see here. So in other areas, still shows some heavy rain near the islands of Japan. Even before this gets there, in Amami, close to 100 millimeters. Eastern China, some storms there, especially through central eastern China. Yes. And let's see in the Philippines, and does show. Yes. In Malaysia and some areas, some are like tropical downpours, and especially near Sumatra, close to 100 millimeters in those western areas. So be aware, more like tropical downpours there, showers and storms during the day and everything. Shows more near the southern Indian Ocean, Seabreeze Village, close to 80 to 100 millimeters. And they do have this cyclone forming there, kind of in the long term, some leftover rain from it getting close to Mauritius and Reunion. This run from the European has more than 300 millimeters in the next 8 days in Reunion, especially from after November 20th. So we monitor that. The GFS just has 31 millimeters, and the icon has 1 millimeter. So these models are not in agreement, but we'll monitor that as well. Southern India might get still some tropical downpours, some 84 millimeters. Sri Lanka, some 90 millimeters in some areas, so be aware of more showers and storms there. And yeah, so be careful and please stay safe with this storm in the Philippines there. Let's see if I find something. So this like the weather site for the Philippines. They have the typhoon here, the tropical advisory, and like some flood advisories in those yellow boxes and orange. So stay safe there. You can see right some rain affecting there, and this link is in the description too, so you can check. But please stay safe with the storm surge, the heavy rainfall and everything. As you can see, this storm is enormous already. There will be some very big waves, coastal flooding and some heavy rainfall already. So please stay safe there and warn others about the next storm coming through. So this next storm is right near Colonia now in Micronesia, so be careful with some periods of heavy rain there as well. Does show especially northern Colonia close to 97 millimeters, so be careful in Palau, some passing showers and storms, in Marshall Islands, some more tropical downpours and some passing showers and storms there. So stay safe in those areas. And if I put this until November 22nd, it has one storm going to the South China Sea and the other storm curving near Taiwan, near the southern islands of Japan. So please stay safe there, be mindful in the northern Philippines, and let's see now in the Caribbean, because we have this system forming. The European model still has more than 600 millimeters in northern Honduras and in some areas from this system forming there. So let's see the latest information. They have a 90% broad area of low pressure in the central Caribbean Sea continues to produce a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions are conducive for development, and a tropical depression is likely to form within the next day or two, while the system moves slowly westward into the western Caribbean Sea. Afterward, further development is likely while the disturbance meanders over western Caribbean Sea through the weekend. The system is expected to turn slowly northwestward by early next week. Interests across the western and northwestern Caribbean should closely monitor progress of the system. Regardless of the development, heavy rains expected of Jamaica, Cayman Islands, next day or so. And you can check the other sites for like gale warnings and other stuff. So we'll monitor this very closely on the Eastern Pacific and Central Pacific kind of nothing. And let's see what they have here. So this invest 99 now. Some hurricane models and global models pass this right near northern Honduras, very close there, right through Belize and the Yucatan. So this will likely have a landfall, first landfall near the Yucatan and Belize there. So please monitor closely in those areas. And the intensity guidance have a bunch of models showing now. Most of them show category 1 or tropical storm. A few go to category 2, but most of them are showing like tropical storm or something. Yesterday, all the models like category 3 or more, but there were only a few models yesterday. Today there are a bunch. So be aware, be ready. Parts of like the Yucatan, Belize, and some areas for potential tropical storm, even a hurricane. Some GFS members take this right through the Yucatan, maybe near southern Florida later, and some Canadian members northern Yucatan near northern Florida later. So we'll monitor this very closely. There's like here North Atlantic, so does show the GFS still has this forming up, lingering near Honduras a lot, going into the Yucatan, and then kind of not regenerating but turning into a front in the Gulf. So this would be a very crazy setup. But there's the European as well. It does show the low pressure there starts forming up, lingers a lot near Central America, and goes into Belize as a tropical storm. Then it has re-emerged in the Gulf, becoming a broad tropical storm, even a hurricane into north central Florida. So this will be a not good scenario too. There's the Canadian model, starts forming this there near Central America, goes into the Yucatan, kind of gets caught into a front and tries to go in the Gulf there. There's the icon, shows it forming there, lingers a lot near Central America, turns into even a hurricane, goes there, and yeah, kind of tries to regenerate in the Gulf, but not actually makes it. And just to point your attention, does have a disturbance the Eastern Pacific, maybe brings rain to Eastern Mexico, and it is turning that into a big system in the plains there in the US. So we'll check that more in some later videos. And there's the Neptune too, forms the tropical storm there, even a hurricane, and the Neptune goes as a category 1, even category 2 into the Yucatan there and into Florida later. So this will be a crazy setup too. There's like the hurricane models, the HRF, it forms this there just north of Honduras. A lot of nasty showers and storms there, heavy rain. Then it goes, lingers a lot there. So by November 18th, the HRF still has this north of Honduras. The HEFS A has there, it forms there, starts forming, passes right through northern Honduras or very close, maybe as a weak tropical storm in Belize and the Yucatan. So the Neptune still, not the Neptune, the HEFS A still kind of weak. The HEFS B is like the system trying to form there, goes, turns to even a hurricane, a storm, just north of Honduras, lingers there a lot, and then maybe takes a run for Belize later in the Yucatan. So please be careful. There's the H12, shows there this forms up, passes very close or goes into northern Honduras, lingers there, kind of goes into the Yucatan. But because if this lingers a lot very close to land or over northern Honduras, this might not become as strong as it would stay in the ocean there. So yeah, but I think the main threat from this is the amount of rainfall this might dump in northern Honduras. The European model is more than 400 to 500 millimeters, so some parts of northern Honduras, all the way to 600 millimeters. Most of northern Honduras there has even to western Nicaragua, some 200 millimeters, southern Honduras too, has still western Costa Rica more than 100 millimeters, so be careful with flooding there too, northern Nicaragua. But let's see here, the GFS has also more than 300 millimeters, most of northern Honduras into northernmost northeastern Guatemala there, in southern Belize more than 100 millimeters. This is until Monday, the 18th, and the GFS, some spots in northern Honduras, 800 millimeters the GFS has. 880 millimeters. I don't think it will be this much, but the European showed 600, so 500 millimeters definitely a possibility. So please be safe there and warn other people there that this amount of rain is coming. This is a good way to save lives, communicate that this is coming, and tell them how to prepare. So if there's flooding, don't mess with flooding. Stay in a safe place at home. Be careful with landslides and flash flooding on the roads, and have supplies to stay safe and emergency kits. So please be careful. The icon has the worst rain offshore, but it does have some northern tips of Honduras, 700 millimeters. So this will cause some catastrophic flooding, 400 millimeters. So please stay safe there. In some islands like Pelican Ridge, all the way to 800 millimeters, almost 900 in Roatan Town. So please stay safe. Do everything you can to stay safe from this flooding. Now, if I go like day by day, November 14th, Thursday, still nothing. Tomorrow, Friday, already shows more than 100 millimeters. Saturday shows very bad there. Let me remove this. Sunday, the 17th, shows even more, but starts going away towards Belize and Guatemala. And Monday, it's already gone. So the worst will be between Friday and Sunday. Please, please be careful. Now, let's see some ensembles from the European. So there's a lot of support, but doesn't show. Like, yeah, there's a lot, but shows this going right to the Yucatan, northern Honduras. Most members of the European curve this towards Florida later. The intensity is still a little bit far to determine. If this gets caught into a front or something, might be weaker, but if this manages to stay tropical in the Gulf, might be stronger. But most European members are showing central northern Florida. The GFS members are more showing southern Florida there, and the Bahamas and Cuba. So a little bit different, but most of Florida should be monitoring this, and Cuba too, but and the Yucatan and like Honduras should be on alert already. So yeah, be aware those areas. And let's see here. So please stay safe. Let's see the rain from some other models like the Canadian model too. So like North Atlantic, just to get an idea, 108 hours was precipitation. So this is until Monday, the 18th as well. The Canadian has all the way to 25 inches northern central Honduras. That is like 600 millimeters. So it has in like in western Nicaragua too, next 5 days, close to 500 millimeters. But please stay safe in Honduras. It has some areas close to even 600 or 700 millimeters, northern central Honduras. Please be careful with flooding there. Let me just say this in Spanish too. En los próximos 5 días puede haber más de 600 milímetros de lluvia en el norte de Honduras, más de 600, 500 milímetros de lluvia por un ciclón tropical que se está formando en el Caribe, que puede llegar muy cerca de Honduras, dejar unos vientos fuertes y lluvia muy fuerte. Casi todos los modelos muestran más de 200, casi a 500 milímetros, 700 milímetros. Entonces, muchísimas precauciones con inundaciones. Good, so stay safe. Let's see, so there's like the wind too. This hasn't formed yet, but let's see what the model show. The European model shows this forming up, maybe approaching northern Honduras, close to 70 km per gust, even to 280. Some islands there, some higher gusts too, depends on the strength of this. If this is already a hurricane to the north of Honduras, the wind gusts will be way stronger than that. But be mindful, there might be some stronger winds northern Honduras and throughout the Caribbean there. Nicaragua shows slightly gustier, parts of southern Mexico, And yeah, so stay safe. The GFS has this there as well, has like 78 km per hour, 281, or like Friday the 15th across northern Honduras, so stay safe there, be aware. Now here, the satellite does show a storm or two in Trinidad and Tobago, in Venezuela, shows the system forming there, and some stuff in Central America. But in the next 5 days, does show like some more showers and storms near the Eastern Caribbean. Nothing crazy, but does show some passing showers, maybe some passing storms in the afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, Venezuela, and like some showers, a storm or two in Barbados, and throughout the other islands there. So just be aware doing thunderstorms. It shows more the northeastern Caribbean, close to 40 millimeters, or even more. To Puerto Rico, some 20 to 30 millimeters, and the Dominican Republic shows some spots close to 50 millimeters. So be aware some thunderstorms there too. In the Cayman Islands, it's showing more than 100 millimeters, 110 millimeters, some 88 in Jamaica, some 36 millimeters or 35 or even more. So be aware, especially the Cayman Islands and Jamaica as this forms up. In Panama, northern Panama still shows some more than 100 millimeters. Now there is some more storms, so be careful northwestern Venezuela as well. And yeah, so please stay safe there from that rainfall and the system forming there, and we'll keep monitoring this. And if you are like in Cuba, in Florida, or like in those areas, just stay tuned to the updates, and be ready for anything. In the Yucatan and Belize, you should be more on alert, right? This might go into Belize there, or further north into the Yucatan with heavy rain and strong winds. Might affect northern Guatemala with some heavy rain too. So be careful. Now Salvador shows more than 100 millimeters as well. So be aware in some parts of the Gulf in Mexico. So be careful there. Shows some more storms or two, a rain or two in east and western Mexico. And please stay safe there with this system. So let's see if there's something important here. So there's Invest 99 now. Here there are the different models showing something here, going into the Yucatan, northern Belize, and some going to Florida there. And yeah, there's like some images here. Let's see. There's something else. There's some interesting probabilities, like there I have some 49, 80%, and some are probabilities there. And yeah, there's these two, they have the invest there, some 86% already or higher. Those are some experimental models, and some interesting stuff. There's like the shear here. So the show more vortex still with this system just south of Jamaica, starting to form there. And the wind shear show very low wind shear in the central western Caribbean, some higher shear in the Gulf. It might get better down the road in the Gulf, but still some high shear there. And yeah, so be aware. And the ocean water is still extremely warm. In parts of the Caribbean, some 29 to 30 Celsius, and the ocean heat content specifically where it is now near Honduras and near like Cuba and the Yucatan, some very high ocean heat content. So a good environment for this. So please be mindful of the heavy rains, stay safe there, and warn others. We will make more updates in the coming days, and stay safe